Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan, and in this video we are going to be finishing up our first round grading of the 2020 NFL Draft. There were some surprises down the stretch in the first round. We're going to break it all down for you.
And another surprise in this video is that we're actually finishing this series before. We did not get to finish our series of grades on the first round. This time we are going to do it. So our first time all the way through the first round of the draft grades. And it is the end of this year's series now.
Yeah, kudos to us, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know you guys are probably in tears because this series, I think. Probably not, though, because it might be a little boring. I don't know. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully we make you happy and smiling. Okay, so we start off at pick 25 with the San Francisco 49ers, who traded up with the Minnesota Vikings to grab wide receiver Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State. Now, originally, when I saw this, I was like, is that what they should have done? There were better wide receivers out there. But, like, they could have got someone later, especially in this deep of a class. And I wasn't extremely high on Ayuk, although I can't lie, I didn't watch him. I really wish I could have just had time to do it. I wish I did.
Appreciate the honesty.
No, yeah, I gotta be honest with you. But after the draft, it was leaked out that the 49ers had Brandon Ayuk number one on their wide receiver big board over all these guys, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, who won earlier, and Justin Jefferson and Jalen Reagor as well. They had him all the way ahead of all those five guys, I think it was, that went earlier. So trading up to get him at this point for the 49ers standpoint, a guy that they were so high on, I think it's a great pick for them. Now, I didn't watch Ayuk, so I really couldn't tell you how good he is in my opinion. But they did need a wide receiver position, got the tackle earlier, and I liked their draft, so I'm going to give it an A.
Yeah, and this was a real head scratcher for me because, I thought of, John Lynch as one of the best GMs in the league. He's always made some great transactions with San Francisco, whether it's the trade in the 2017 draft or getting Jimmy Garoppolo for only a second-round pick. I really didn't like this because I didn't think trading up for a receiver was necessary, especially when you didn't have that much draft capital on day two, especially in, like, as you said, Jordan, this deep wide receiver class. And I know there was that report that Ayuk was the number one receiver. I just hope that's not true because I'd like to think that they're better than that because Ayuk is a solid second-round player, but there's no way you can have him or should have him above CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Justin Jefferson, and some of these top guys. So, I mean, I don't really think that I should be, like, saying, okay, because your rankings were wrong, this justifies the move. I mean, I get why they did it, but I don't really agree with their motive because I think there's better guys on the board. I'm going to go C+. This is just a reach, and the trade up was not necessary.
And just to clarify the trade a bit more, it was actually a decent trade to trade up because they traded one pick back before, and I believe they traded that pick that they got from the trade back before, and this one to move up. So they really didn't lose anything. They just didn't gain any other picks.
Yeah, so in essence, like Jordan's saying, basically they didn't give anything away, and they were able to go up in the draft. That's a great move to go get their guy. And Kyle Shanahan's a guy that knows his wide receiver. He's had a history of that in Atlanta and now in San Francisco. He's got an eye for them. Him and John Lynch, the GM there, have both done a great job at that position. I trust their judgment. He was my second best wide receiver on the board at this point in the draft. I think they wanted to go up in their guy, and I did like Brandon Ayuk a lot, so I'm going to give this pick an A. I don't know why you're so harsh on it, Ryan.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, I just think that the trade up in a class this deep is not necessary, and I had a couple better receivers there. T. Higgins, Jalen Reagor, to name a few, but that's all I got to say.
So, anyways, let's move on to our next pick. And this team might have been a reason the 49ers tried to trade up to get in front of this team. Well, this team was not going to pick a wide receiver, as we saw, because they traded up to pick 26 with the Dolphins, who had the pick from the Texans originally.
Here's the head scratcher, Ryan.
Yep, and we made a whole video about this, so I'm not going to go too much into detail about it. So if you want us to hear us smack talk this pick, go find that video, watch it. I think it's a quality video. But the Green Bay Packers trade up to select quarterback Jordan Love. Interesting. They still have Aaron Rodgers on their squad, and he has, I think, 4 years left, I think.
Yeah, I think. But I think the way they worked his contract, they get him for 3 years and then get rid of him the fourth year.
Yeah.
Because there wouldn't be too much money left, something like that, with the weird contract stuff.
Yeah. So, I'm not doubting the talent of Jordan Love. I think that with some good coaching, he can improve to be a good quarterback in the NFL. Now, he had plenty of things wrong, especially in his last year at Utah State with all the interceptions. He definitely needs to learn, but he's going to learn under Aaron Rodgers. The problem, though, is you got Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, and now you do not pick a skilled player for your team to win now. And I'll let Ryan talk about that more because he is into that a lot about how the Packers should have had a win now move instead of for the future move when you still have quarterback Aaron Rodgers on your roster. I think Jordan Love could be a decent player after learning under Aaron Rodgers, but it's going to be a weird situation between the two of them. But I'm going to give this pick a C+, I guess, generously, maybe. Yeah.
That is more generous than I expected. And real quick, before I get into my explanation, I realized I said Jalen Rager in my last explanation.
Yeah,
I meant to say KJ Hamler, but I just wanted to clarify that.
Actually,
but Jordan, as you said, the Packers won the NFC Championship last game. They can win now. Their last game last year was a loss in the NFC Championship. They were one win away from going to the Super Bowl. So you've got to get your quarterback some weapons. And I said this in the Jordan Love video, so I'm only going to touch on it briefly, that when the Packers made their deep playoff runs, they always had a solid number 2 wide receiver. Whether it was Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, they always had that other guy. Because when Aaron Rodgers has even more weapons than he, I guess you could say, needs, like it has more than the bare minimum that he needs to succeed, that's when we truly see the elite Aaron Rodgers come out, the playoff type Aaron Rodgers come out. So I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is going to necessarily decline. I just think that we really could have seen a nice skill position pick here, and they didn't even take a wide receiver at all, which is just unacceptable in my opinion in this deep class. So I just don't see it. And Jordan Love wasn't even the best quarterback available in my opinion. So I gotta go C-. I just don't see how I could give it any higher.
Yeah, and then one more point I wanted to make, just to give an interesting stat. I said it in the Jordan Love video, but I'll say it in this one as well. Aaron Rodgers has not thrown a touchdown pass to many first-round draft picks at skill position. In fact, there's only been one. I'm not sure if it's whole career or a long time, but it was one. I think it was tight end Mercedes Lewis. And besides that, they just really haven't drafted any wide receivers to give him help in the first round, at least. So
all right.
At that point.
Now my turn. You guys really clarified it. I don't know who would have drafted a quarterback between 26 and 30 in the first place. Why would you have to trade up? That I don't understand, first of all. And second of all, even if Jordan Love pans out to be a good quarterback, like Ryan said, they have a chance to maybe get to the Super Bowl in the next couple of years if they could get a good wide receiver and get a good offense around Aaron Rodgers. But instead they're deciding to draft from 4 years from now with their really entire draft.
Yeah, they're drafting for when they'll all be fired.
Yeah. So I'm with you guys. I'm giving this pick a C-. I don't like it. Even if Jordan Love is good, right now it just doesn't seem like it would be worth it. They could have a chance to win a Super Bowl unless they do that later on. I don't see why they would make this pick.
Did you have a grade?
C-, I said.
Okay.
Yeah, you said that.
All right, so 27. These ones we're doing today are actually probably the most fun ones of the draft. And we get to the most interesting team that drafts every year. It's the Seattle Seahawks at pick 27. And before they drafted, exactly right, some things never change. Before they drafted, I was like, okay, maybe they'll make a smart pick this year, going maybe edge rusher, maybe getting another linebacker besides the guy that they grabbed. But Seattle is up. And when Roger Goodell walks up there, we're all like, oh gosh, what's this going to be? And then we learned what it was going to be. Linebacker Jordan Brooks out of Texas.
You said linebacker first. I would have thought you would have said Patrick Queen maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But,
No, they went Jordan Brooks. Now, Seahawks are always a team that kind of just says, you know what, let's reach and try to get someone. Maybe I watched Jordan Brooks. I didn't think he was awful. He was kind of the lone person on that defense that was actually doing stuff. He was kind of hard to evaluate just because of the competition that he was playing, the team that he was around. But I didn't see him going here, and it's a Seahawks pick. So, you know what? I don't really know how to grade this anymore. Let's just go with a C.
What would you give it for a Seahawks pick?
Oh, for them, it's probably an A+.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Ryan.
I mean, really, I said before the draft, and I still stand by it, I believe there are only 2 linebackers worth taking in the first round, and that's counting Isaiah Simmons as a linebacker, the other being Kenneth Murray, who we talked about in the other video. But, you know, I appreciate the Seahawks giving us a good laugh on draft night, but
True.
I mean, come on, really? Jordan hit on it. I'm not even gonna explain anymore. He said everything that I was gonna say. So C- for me. I'm giving out some bad grades to start this. I feel kind of bad, but draft better.
Yeah. Honestly, we were all cracking up. We didn't think they were gonna reach again, and they did. Patrick Queen was still on the board. Don't listen to Ryan when he says Patrick Queen's on a first-round pick, because he clearly is. He's a little...
You'll learn that soon.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. But Jordan Brooks was not a first-round pick, in my opinion. A good player. Reached again, and I gotta give this pick a C+, just because I like the talent of Jordan Brooks, but it's a major reach, in my opinion, especially with Queen still on the board.
I just wanted to point out that right before the draft, I was hurrying to watch some film, and I told Tyler and Ryan I was watching Jordan Brooks. I'm like, why are you watching this guy? You could watch other people. And guess what? He went in the first round. So hot, but I probably should have watched Ayuk instead. Anyways.
Watched Ayuk.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we move on. We were talking about, is Patrick Queen a first-round pick? That's going to be what we see on the field in the NFL. We'll get to know that somewhat soon. But for the Baltimore Ravens, who pick at 28, he was worth a first-round pick for them, as the Ravens just sat back and watched Patrick Queen fall right into their hands. I think he is a first-round player. This is probably the right spot for him to go. And for the Ravens, that linebacker position is really one of the only needs that they really needed. Although, with all the old Thomas stuff going on, they might have wanted to draft a safety. Just had to mention that with the Ravens. Sorry, Earl. My bad. But I think it's a great pick. I think it's a great value pick and a great need for the team, as Baltimore just sat there and watched someone fall directly into their Raven hands. So I'm going to give it an A.
Claws.
Wings.
What was that? What'd you give it?
What are you giving it?
I'm going to give it an A.
Okay. Ryan?
Okay, I'm going to keep it short.
Okay.
And, no, I was going to say where I had Patrick Queen graded, but it's probably best I don't.
No, say it. Say it.
What?
Say it.
I was looking at late second, early third round for him. That's where I had him graded. That's
You
not
might
where
want
I
to stop
expected
now
him to
before
go.
you look a little.
What was that?
You might want to stop now before people judge too much.
No, it's feel free. If you don't like what I'm saying, share in the comments below. If you think this guy's nuts, Patrick Queen is the best player in this draft class, go for it.
Well,
that's what we're here for. We're here to talk about.
The fact is that he is nuts no matter what.
Yeah, sure.
What?
All right, give your explanation.
Well, I really don't know what else to say. It's just I put on the tape. I watched Patrick Queen. I watched some of the other linebackers. I did my homework. I just didn't see first round production from Patrick Queen. And, that's just what I saw. He didn't do enough for me to really say this is a first-round guy. I do understand that Baltimore is in a win-now mode, as they think they are. I have my own theories on Baltimore, but that's for a different video. But I think it's a reach, but I will say, okay, I know you needed a linebacker. This was a popular pick. I still got to give it a C.
Jeez.
Too much
Oh,
of a
my
reach.
gosh.
Okay, I think, a C is not horrible. I didn't give
That's
it
a pick that they just waited to see a perfect
C is
value
still getting a
fall to
70-something on a test. That's not failing it.
It's not good.
I don't think the pick was
No one's
good.
happy
It's not
with
an
the
A,
C.
it's not an
Okay.
F either.
All right, let's go on opposite sides of the
Let's go
to opposite sides of the spectrum here with me. Patrick Queen was barely my second best linebacker in this class, but he was. I just think why Ryan has his opinions on it was because he was a guy that kind of was a late bloomer. But he definitely did have the talent, and with this Ravens team, I'm sure they had their eyes on him and thought no way he was falling there. He did. They needed help at the linebacker position, and he got easily the best linebacker available. I'm giving this pick an A+.
Yep. Fair enough. I need to catch my breath.
I lost it. I did not expect that.
All right. 29 is the Tennessee Titans. They went offensive lineman Isaiah Wilson out of Georgia. Now, there is speculations, or not, I wouldn't say speculations, but you could say that there were better linemen available. But in one of those guys was Josh Jones, who eventually fell into the third round. And Isaiah Wilson, I actually liked him.
Cardinals ended up getting a first-round talent in the third round. At the offensive line. They had a great draft.
But Isaiah Wilson, when I watched him, I actually liked him. He was lined up opposite Andrew Thomas. That Georgia line was just an absolute beast altogether. But I
many
liked
years
Isaiah
now.
Wilson. He's a little big. I mean, all the Georgia guys on the offensive line are a little big. Maybe can't move as much as some other guys. Maybe not as much athletic. But I think Isaiah Wilson is a good pick. With Derrick Henry being basically the whole Titans team, they're definitely going to need some offensive line help to help him get a few more yards on every other run, or he'll just stiff arm people and knock people over to get there anyways. But I think it's a pretty
in
good
the later
pick.
months of the season. He doesn't start doing good until later months.
So I think they went the right position. Maybe there was a better player available, but I like Isaiah Wilson. I'll give it an A-.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've given every pick this video a C something, but that ends now because I think an offensive lineman is a good pick for Tennessee. I think that, especially with the way their smash mouth type of football, ground and pound with Derrick Henry, I think it's important to continue to make sure that offensive line stays good, because if Derrick Henry isn't as effective as he was last year, things could really go south for the Titans very quickly.
So I
think there might be maybe a better offensive lineman available or two, but I still think it's the right position to help open up running lanes for Derrick Henry, keep that momentum going, try and make sure you can win the way you want to win. That's how you got to the AFC Championship last year. I'm going to give it a solid B.
Okay. That's not too bad. Ryan's actually being somewhat nice now, but Isaiah Wilson was not a first-round talent to me. One of the better linemen in this class, I can say that. Didn't expect him to go in the first round, but like you guys said, they need to adjust the line position because it's clear now. They showed everyone that that's what they're planning to do, continue to ground and pound. I really like that idea that they have going there. But Isaiah Wilson would have been the guy to go with, so I'm giving it a B+.
Okay. Next, let's move to pick 30 as we get near the end. This was Green Bay's pick originally, but they traded up with Miami to get Jordan Love, so now Miami moved back here, and they selected Noah Igbenogany out of Auburn, the cornerback. And I think that maybe there were some better cornerbacks on the board, although I did like Noah Igbenogany. I've said this about him before. I know Tyler's really high in him. I think he's an aggressive corner that he can get himself into bad situations, or he could be really good if he's playing tight defense and doesn't get a penalty. He also has done some stuff on special teams, but in my opinion, all he did was run one back in the Outback Bowl, and he didn't do that much else. Just saying my opinion.
He's probably not going to be a returner or anything, but he could definitely be a possible
counter.
Yeah,
he definitely could. So I think that, they should have gone secondary. Maybe should have gone safety because they still need some help after shredding away Minkah Fitzpatrick, and they got Byron Jones in free agency, so they didn't need the cornerback position as much with McKinney and Antoine Winfield still on the board. Maybe they should have gone one of those guys, but I think it was the right decision to go defense. They went offense, defense, so I think that's what they should have done. Maybe not the player that I would have picked, so I'll give them a flat B.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jordan. I'm going to go with a B as well, just because this should have been a safety. If you pick Xavier McKinney or Antoine Winfield here, that's an automatic A+ from me this late in the first round, because I really think after spending that much money on Byron Jones and already having Xavier Howard, you can maybe wait on the cornerback position for a little bit, especially when you have like 8,000 draft picks this year. But, I had a mild second round or moderate second round grade on him, so it's not like it's a huge reach or anything. It's just I think that with that glaring need at safety, and they address pretty much every other defensive position this offseason except safety, I really think that they could have had. I think they still had a good draft, but I think they could have really had an outstanding draft if they got Winfield or McKinney with this pick. Because I thought both of them would be gone by pick 30, to be honest with you. But Igbenogany's still a solid player, will help that secondary, just like you said, Jordan, not the direction I would have gone.
Yeah, Igbenogany is one of the guys that I've been surprisingly high on for a while. I was happy to see him go in the first round. Didn't expect it to actually happen. You're right, Ryan. They should have gone safety with this pick. But they did need a nickel corner. They got one. And I like Igbenogany as a player. So I'm going to give it an A-. I'm not too harsh on it because I see why they went the direction they did.
All right, let's move on to pick 31. This was originally the 49ers pick, but they traded up to get Ayuk. And with the Vikings, who now sit at 31, and they picked Jeff Gladney, the cornerback out of TCU. We got two corners going in a row. I think that was a good move for them after losing Rhodes. They definitely need another person in that secondary, and they already picked up the great wide receiver Justin Jefferson, unfortunately for me, because I want them to lose. But he's a good player. But I think Jeff Gladney was one of the better corners still on the board. Maybe they could have gone Diggs. I like Trayvon Diggs. and plus it would have been a great meme for the Vikings to go Trayvon Diggs after getting rid of his brother Stephon Diggs, but the memes did not come true. Either way, Jeff Gladney, I think, is a good corner. That's a position that they needed. I'll give it an A-.
Yeah, I'm also going to go A- because I think that I actually had Christian Fulton a little higher than Gladney, but Fulton ended up falling way further than he should have, in my opinion. But there's still a lot to like about Jeff Gladney, and especially you have to consider the fact that Minnesota traded down, so therefore accumulated more draft capital. They probably had like 20 draft picks or something. It was insane. I thought they were one of the biggest winners of the draft. And you look at this pick, Gladney, physical player, hard-hitting corner, great tackler, can help out in the run game. Maybe not the corner I would have taken, but I would have definitely at least contemplated this move if I were Minnesota. So I'm still a fan of this pick and a fan of their draft overall. A-, as I said.
Yeah, I do like this pick, especially since they were able to trade back to get this guy. They were probably going to go that direction anyways. They really liked him. I don't want to be too harsh on it. Didn't think he was going to go in the first round, and like Jordan said, maybe Trayvon Diggs would have been a better cornerback to take here, or someone else. But I see why they liked Gladney with his aggressive mentality. That could really help in Minnesota. So I'm going to give this pick a B+.
Okay, now we've entered uncharted territory for me as we get to pick 32. I'm sure the two guys who are in this video with me today are very scared on how long I'm going to talk on this next pick. I'll try to make it short, but if you watch the channel, you know that I love this guy. Please stop doing that with your hand. It's not going to work on this one. All right, so the Chiefs pick at 32, and they pick my guy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back out of LSU.
I'm going to stop much going, Tyler.
Good.
I think that was a phenomenal pick. I had that mocked. I think it's a great fit for them. Clyde Edwards-Helaire and that offense is going to be great. I think for me, I had Edwards-Helaire and Jonathan Taylor very close to each other. I never truly put one above, but just for my love of Edwards-Helaire, I'm glad he went in front of Jonathan Taylor. I liked him for a long time. I think he's a great player. He can do basically everything. He's a smaller guy. I've heard the comparisons to Darren Sproles. In my opinion, he's more of a Mark Ingram. I think he'll be a great fit in that Chiefs offense. He can catch passes out of the backfield. He can block. He can run up the middle. He can do it all. Andy Reid in that Chiefs offense, they're going to love him, and that offense just got a lot better by adding rookie talent Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So I'm going to give this one none other than an A+ for my guy of this draft, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Okay.
57 seconds, Jordan. That's not bad.
That's faster than all the other ones.
Yeah.
All right,
57.38 to be precise.
All right. What do you think about it?
Well, okay, I feel like Clyde had a little interesting pre-draft process because I think he was underrated for a while, but then, because, LSU's whole championship run, I think it honestly might have gotten to the point where he might have been just a tad bit overrated by the time things came, because I think him as running back one, or at least going as the number one running back in this draft, is a slight stretch. It's nothing horrible. It's nothing that makes me lose sleep at night, but it's just not quite the direction I would have gone. I know it's Andy Reid, and I know it's that Chiefs offense, so I know there's the fit argument, but I really think that the Chiefs, with them and with Andy Reid, the offensive guru, Jonathan Taylor, J.K. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, someone else later, they could have made anyone work, and I feel like it will work just fine. It's just not quite the running back I would have taken. I think Jonathan Taylor is the most NFL-ready running back in this class, but right position, he was my number 3 rated running back, but, it's not quite what I would have done. It's not horrible. Little bit of a stretch, but nothing major. I give it a solid B.
Okay. Jordan doesn't seem too happy about that. But
it's one of my nicer ones today. What do you mean you're not happy about it? You got a C.
Jordan gave it an A+. So
I know, but still.
Yeah. But I had Jonathan Taylor as my first ranked running back as well, just like Ryan did. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire was right behind him at number 2. The more I think about it, I feel like Edwards-Helaire fits in this offense maybe a little bit more well than Jonathan Taylor would be. Not saying that he would be a bad fit there. That'd still be a great draft choice. So I do like it, but I would have picked Jonathan Taylor over Helaire. So I'm just going to give it an A. And that's it. We ended this video on a bang with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We talked about some controversy here. Ryan gave a bunch of bad picks, or like low-graded picks.
It's like Simon Cowell today.
Yeah. And Jordan only talked about Clyde Edwards-Helaire for 53 seconds. That's a record
57.
low. 57 seconds.
Don't give him credit you didn't get.
Alright, so there it was. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and comment down below. And please tell people about us. For some reason, we're not getting as many views as we would want to. So if you like what we do, please pass the word around. And get people watching us because we really want to grow a community here.
Especially in these times. What else you gotta do? Come on, go watch our videos.
Yeah,
And we love the game of football.
Man.
We're always going to talk about it no matter what, no matter how many views we get. This
Yeah.
is like something we enjoy doing. It's just an extra bonus that we all love to see other people watching our content as well, because in the future
We want other people to enjoy it with us.
Yeah, and we all want to have football
Even if I
careers
gave
later
your
in our life.
teams
So
like
this
a
is
bad
this
grade, we still
beginning of
want
that. So if you want to help us out in that, please support us by liking videos and watching them as well, and telling people about us.
That's right. All right, so with that now, we're going to see you guys later.
See ya.
Yeah.